Greetings, everyone. I am F. Keith Slaughter, senior servant of the Beloved Community Church of Atlanta. Our ministry began 5 years ago with a few dedicated souls who were dedicated to serving our people and worshiping our God. We are a small church. However, since we began, we have slowly grown from a mere idea into a thriving, busy, and dynamic presence in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta, Georgia. The coronavirus pandemic indelibly altered the work of our ministry. The food and resources gap between the poor and others has widened right before our eyes. As the world around us changed, we recognized the need to expand our already established food pantry to include a food sharing component for children and adults in our community. We now serve hot meals, sandwiches, snacks, and beverages 3 days a week and provide emergency food pantry access throughout the week. The times required that we expand our capacity to serve, but we had inadequate facilities needed to do the work. To that end, we recently acquired a historic Pittsburgh landmark formerly known as Little Zion Baptist Church. Our plan is to transition our food pantry and resource brokerage center, including a new day shelter component, into the Little Zion Annex of the Beloved Community Church. We need room to grow, and I need your help to make it happen. The food pantry will give community members and their families access to nutritious food in a clean and healthy environment. The Resource Brokerage Center will connect persons to information and benefits available to them, while the day shelter will create space for showers and personal care, cell phone recharging stations.
Y'all know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves of sheep clothing.
Come on, come on.
Run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
Mr. Slaughter D called me Trap Pastor. I talk slow, but you know I rap faster.
That right.
Hard rhymes, I'm as serious as cancer. Recognize you ain't a slave, you a master. Came here on the bottom of the boat.
That right.
Can't flow, so I had to backstroke. Coming up on the verses that I rode. Every day I slang hope, not dough. Black excellence, down with the team. Malcolm X's nightmare, Martin Luther's dream. Fight the power, can you feel what I mean? Like Rakim said, I'm a microphone fiend. Came south on a special invitation. I say a word on the current situation. No delay, no more hesitation. All you fists up, take your preparation, sucker.
Y'all know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves of sheep clothing.
Come on, come on.
Run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
Yeah, so you think you can run away from reality? You think you can run away from the problems? You think you can find yourself someplace else to go where there's no God? Hey man, wherever you go, God is already there waiting on you. So stop running.
Like bread.
And if you gotta run, tie your shoes. Sucker.
Tie your shoes so you won't be tripping. You know what Alright, what the deal is, y'all? Alright, we trying to do the show today, man, without the man in the box. Okay. Man, this is terrible, man. We trying to do it. We gonna try. Welcome. I can't see what day it is. I don't know what day it is. I don't know nothing, man. I'm just, I'm up in here today. This one of them days, man, but this is the situation. It's an intentionally Afrocentric live streaming infotainment variety talk experience. My name is Slaughter, and we got a special edition of the situation today. Due to the fact that we got some technical difficulties and we got some incidences of pilferage that are somewhat impacting our ability to bring the show. Thank you, please, because I can't hear me. You know what? I just don't know what I'm going to do today, but we're going to make it. Thankfully, all right, I'm starting to hear myself and be able to do a show. Thankfully, I am joined today for this special edition of the situation by a brother who was a friend of the situation, who was good enough to show up and kick it with me today as we continue to celebrate Black History Month, African American History Month, Freedmen's Month, Indigenous Peoples Month. However you want to look at us, we all that and then some more. We celebrating and we getting, extra black with it. The only thing, and I understand with this show, it's a black show every day, and we deal with blackness at all times because that's just the kind of brother I am,
That's right.
But my special guest, he like that too. His every day is
Blackity black.
Is blicker. And so I'm gonna kick it today with none other than the world-renowned minister of hip-hop, Minister Server. I clap my hands because I ain't got nobody to, this ain't gonna work.
Hey, man.
This ain't gonna work, Minister Server.
Hey, man. It's gonna work. We'll let it do what
We
it
gotta
do,
hook
bro.
up a cell phone or something to this shit.
We'll do what it do.
We gotta do something. Oh man, yeah, cause this just like every other whack ass podcast. Without the it is without the sound effects. It's just a Negro sitting up rapping, and you get tired of that shit after about 10 minutes. Even if what you talking about is exciting, just listening to one person sit up and look at the camera and talk.
Oh, yeah.
That shit that's boring as hell, man, and I don't want to do that. I ain't gonna do that. So I don't know. I'm gonna get me a damn laptop from somebody. I don't know. I hate to say somebody stole the laptop. I don't want to think that, but we had a laptop when I left here yesterday. I come back today, ain't no damn laptop. So, that's some bullshit right there. In the house of the Lord. Bullshit in the house of the Lord. That's man, that'll preach there. That will preach. We'll get ready for next week. You
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. So my guest, and you see him now. I already introduced you. Didn't I introduce you?
Yes, sir.
But I got distracted because we didn't have no real applause for you to introduce you. So it was to me like you didn't even appear because I expect, everybody to be, the whole stadium to be just uproaring in a way, man. For the damn Minister Server, dog team, it's something, man. You came through the door and we greeted each other in the ways that brothers of a certain age who have certain relationship realities, how you greet each other. And, 2 years into quarantine and pandemic and, you forget how to hug folks, man. You forget how to, you forget how to grip. You don't forget, you don't forget how to grip, but you forget,
that's a part of it.
The rituals, some of the, what we sacrifice out of the rituals of our everyday being as black people. You know what I'm saying? We kept it, pimpy and gangster, and we was already giving each other pounds and fist bumps and and elbows or whatever, high elbows, high booty bumps, whatever. We've been doing all that anyway, but now now white folks do it and this shit ain't cool no more. We got to go back to hugging again, I guess. But we ain't scared. We ain't never scared. I told them suckers, I ain't never scared.
Scared for what?
Yeah, man. And so this is good, man. We have an old man TV today. I mean, think about this shit. We get to say we old men and it's real.
Man, listen, I love, bro. I tell people, man, I'm on my dopest hip hop grandpop grind right about now. That's my new title. I'm battling hip hop grandpops all around the world for the title. You know what I'm saying?
They won't let me in the game, man.
Hey,
my kids is on that bullshit. They won't even let me in the granddaddy game, man.
Yeah, man. man. I have 7, 3,
Wow.
6 grandsons and 1 granddaughter.
Man, that's a blessing.
And I have 3 children that not even thinking about having children yet. So the
Yeah.
game will just continue, bro.
Man, you blessed, man. I got
But I
4
love being
children.
old, though, bro. I tell the young ones all the time, man. Particularly, with black men. Dog. We come from a time when we were told we'd be lucky to make it to 25.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And that was real talk because they knew that the forces were against us to make it to 25.
Yeah.
And for those of us that not only made it 25 but double that, still doing our thing, still adding on, bro, it's a blessing. And I love being in this space, and I pray for the youngins to get to this space.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. It feels good to hang around to see what happens with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be available to be helpful to them. I have plenty of opportunities to be helpful to my children, and I'm thankful and I feel good now. Just when I have occasion to just be with one of them alone in the car riding, and talking, and we might not even talk that much, right. But if they could get into my mind, they would see, how much I love them, how much I'm praying for them, how much I'm mindful of them, and asking Creator to be kind to them and to protect them so that they can live long enough to give me some damn grandchildren. Anyway.
Yeah, man. About 2 weeks ago, I hung out with my son, his wife, and their sons went to visit.
I saw the pictures, man. I saw that. That was dope, man.
It really was dope, man, because it's like, even when you raise your children a certain way, life is choices. So you have to let them, go about their choice. But I'm glad to see.
I don't like that part of it, but you're not lying. But that's the part of parenting that I don't like.
Exactly.
When you see something that your stupid ass ought to be able to figure out.
Okay.
And I'm trying to tell you because I have done the exact same thing.
Exactly.
And you want to tell me it's going to be a different outcome with you. And I know better because I thought it was when my daddy told me.
They've done all that. Yeah, man. But it's always a blessing to see them, latch on to some of the things, particularly spiritually, of course. Being a minister, a reverend, a whole lot. It's anything that we want to put on our children. But when we see them walking in that light, that's always a blessing as well, man.
Bro, I was having a conversation, man, last night with a brother who was a real good friend of mine, and I asked him, man, how your children doing? How your baby boy, how your baby girl, And dude was like, he's just stopped. He said, man, you're making me want to cry, man, because, my children ain't doing good. They doing what they doing, and I can't, my interventions ain't helping, and they ain't listening, and they won't hear, and so they suffering, and they living beneath how they were raised.
Yeah.
And it's he's like, we just had to stop, man, and just take a minute for brother to try to pull himself together, just around how, the sense of frustration and disappointment with attempting to be the best parent that you can, and then still find that your children just don't listen and don't achieve at the level that they should. And this is why underachievement in children, and I'm gonna just say it and put it out there. This is why it's unacceptable. I was looking at this thing, a meme somebody had out on the other day, and it had a depiction or illustration of African foremothers and fathers packed upon a slave ship, head to foot, stacked, one upon the other. And then next to it was this narrative that said, Scott, see who that is who just came in, man, because, I don't trust nobody now. I guess we did. Who is that? That anybody we know? Oh, okay. Well, tell her to lock the door. I guess the door was locked. We scared of everybody now. When you get robbed 3 times in a week, it'll mess you up. But in the caption beside it says something like, when you reflect upon what our ancestors endured and how they not only endured it, but they lived. They lived through that, right? And then after living through that, engaged so many other hardships and obstacles and legal restrictions and bindings and bondages, and still made it through and overcame that and didn't quit. So one thing you don't get to do is quit, because we don't do that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That ain't a part of our DNA.
Right.
That's outside of our who we are.
Dr. George Frazier has a book that's called "Success Runs in Our Race." And that's what we have to teach our young people more than anything else. Like I said, quitting. You don't have to do what I do, but for you to not do is not acceptable. I agree 100%.
And the only way to be able, I think, to get children through to adulthood, you got to maintain communication, and sometimes that's just the hardest thing in the world to do.
It is.
And then you got these new Negroes be like, well, you can say whatever you want to say, but I've been checking you out, sucker. I've been watching you, giant turkey. And all of the stuff that you telling me to do, you didn't do most of it, which is, okay, true, but that ain't the damn point.
It's like, one thing I've told my children from birth, from the time they're old enough to understand, again, raise your children in the way they should go. Should is conditional. I can't save you from your choices. Now, we as parents, no matter what they do, we're going to love them through the process. Like you said, the brother was really upset. All they can really do is pray for them, knowing that he did the best that he could do.
Yeah.
But all of us come here as individual living souls, bro. You know what it is. And when we teach our children that, their responsibility starts with their relationship with the Creator, then to the ancestors, then to the elders. You know what I'm saying? And when we teach them that growing up, then it becomes a natural part of the way of how they're living. A lot of times when we skip over what we think is little mundane steps, and then when they get to be about teenagers and they start to show a different value system, then we want to get upset. But if we are reinforcing those value system and they change and do something when they're older, we can't really be held accountable for that. Now, if we didn't do it, that's when maybe some of the guilt may come in. But if you did, man, it's like, at the end of the day, our children are going to be who they choose to be, and the path that they choose to do, and the best thing that we can do is be examples of the way to go, and all that type of stuff.
But it's like Chris Brown said though, it still hurt the same.
No doubt.
Still hurt the same, man.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
But particularly when like you said, when it's something that you can see the path that they're going. And you can say, listen, there's a wall up there. Before you get to the wall, it's a big ass hole. you might want to walk around. And they like, man, that hole probably ain't even there no more. And they, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man,
that was a long time ago. They probably filled that hole up by now.
That's back in the day.
Yeah, you're old school.
Right, exactly. and that happens in all different aspects of life. We're celebrating Black History Month. You will hear people say, we don't need Black History Month. You hear Black people say that. And again, I was talking about earlier, why they give us the shortest month of the year without even knowing the history, without even taking time, particularly in this day and age where there's no reason at all for anyone not to do their due diligence and find out about anything. But we're gonna keep it moving, bro. Okay, so what I'm gonna talk about is what we talked about earlier, bro. This Black History Month, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the beginning of it, how it started, how it
Hello.
Oh, you probably turned it off when you pushed it down in the thing.
That's what it was.
Okay. You, Craig. I got you, bro.
Man, everything Craig fault. Hell, at least he know. Hell, y'all don't even figure that out. Shit.
But we talked about.
That's why Craig get $10 million to do this, man.
That's where the engineers come in. So we can't do it without them. You know what I'm saying? We could talk.
Hell, I'm sitting up here with the mic off if it ain't for him. looking crazy and shit. Complaining.
Mad at him.
Like what I do, yeah, because that's what I do. Y'all gotta understand, that's part of the shtick. It's part of the show. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have somebody. It's like, y'all remember you remember this like for us, it's an old people show. Right. So we can talk about old people shit. Jackie Gleason, the honeymooners. He that nigga blame everything on everybody. Norman, but then his wife, and his wife, friend, they don't even give him no kids because he would have blamed shit on them. So you know how it is. And I'm just like I'm kind of like a black Family Guy and shit,
Honeymoon. Yeah, you definitely went back on that one, bro.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so it is African American History Month, Black History Month, and we celebrating all month long. And yeah, we ought to have, yes. We were alluding to the fact that, people like us celebrate blackness daily. It's not something that that I'm doing today that I don't do every day. Right? I celebrate blackness every day.
You have to put on your blackness.
Yeah, and every Sunday it's another celebration. And that would be, I think it would be wonderful, brother, because you are the minister of hip hop, right? Where do you see the relationship of hip hop and the black church going in this age of the decline of religion in the community? I said it. There, I said it. I said it.
Yeah, man. That's an interesting question, bro. Because of course I ponder that often, but I think the black church has to really get real with itself and decide what it means to be a black church. You know what I'm saying? Jesus was an African revolutionary leader. So for those that follow the Christian religion, to be in alignment with that is to be in alignment with revolutionary teaching. And if you're black in America, then everything is political anyway because you're black in America. But I think the black church for too long has dealt too much with a mystery God and this by and by mindset that young people they don't believe the same things. You can't scare them and make them fearful of hell and all that different stuff.
And you can't make them they don't feel guilty.
Right, exactly.
And this shit just don't work the same way.
But now what I find, and this has been, my blessing as a hip hop minister, coming out of the New Thought Christian movement, big up to Bishop Dr. Barbara Lewis King and Hillside Johnny Coleman and that whole movement. Big up to both of them, rise in power.
Yeah.
Coming out of that, being able to access God in a way that learns from tradition, learns from scripture, but also has a new thought of looking at it to make it applicable to your life right now, to have life more abundantly. Because I don't know anyone who doesn't want life more abundantly. So when if the black church would teach truth from a perspective that people can access it, I think it'd be a lot more effective. Now the challenge with that is that you have to change the business model. You know what I'm saying? You have to change the business model of how the black church is set up. But when we look at how the black church is set up, the black church was set up not in the traditional African sense. It was set up in a way that was okay for white people, so it wasn't threatening. Because
it's set up modeled on the white church, which is modeled on a corporate structure.
Exactly.
Because that's how they make sense out of things and that's how they gain a sense of order by putting it in that kind of structure where we're more communal and more sharing in leadership, not so much top down, but like what we tried to establish here, and I guess we haven't abandoned it, which is what are called the circle of responsibility. It's more about a circle of responsibility than a top-down kind of dominator kind of paradigm for understanding.
So, I think if black churches do that, then they can survive because we are naturally spiritual people. You know what I'm saying? And church, mosque, synagogue, those things become ritualistic.
That's what has to be connected with the reality that we are by nature spiritual people, that we communicate with each other and with divinity and with the ancestors and with the living dead and the yet unborn. We are part of a continuum that is a continuum of consciousness that is passed on and mediated by the blood that we share among each other.
Exactly.
You know, the DNA in the blood are these messages that are passed along
shared
to us.
experiences as well. You know
Of
we
course,
have so
yes.
many shared experiences. Like
Yeah.
Dr. Naim Akbar talks about, you know, these different layers that we have, like
The community of the self.
community of self.
Yes,
you
sir.
already know where I'm going.
Yes,
bro.
go ahead,
so,
brother.
you know, we talk about. Well, Dr. Slaughter's right there, but Dr. Slaughter, all of Dr. Slaughter can never be right there because you are a transcendent spirit. So the people that know you from your hometown, from Shaw, from the other communities, then they all make you a part of who you are, and they keep a part of who you are as well. You know what I'm saying? But again, just that type of teaching is really not taught enough. There's still too much mystery and, you know, praying to Jesus and by the blood and the stripes and all those type of things, which again, even if a person believes that, if you look at Jesus' teachings, it's about you learning to activate those things. You know what I'm saying? It's like you must, in order to...
I just tripped out. You know that thing they got a Holy Spirit activate. Not that activate.
Yeah, man. I mean, but you know, it's just like, you know, when we talk about activating that Holy Spirit, then we will see changes in our community. That's how you know that the black church is not anywhere near as effective as it could be. When you look at the expertise, the experience, the education, the money that are in the black churches, and then you look at the black community. And you have to ask, well, why is that? And what can we do about it? But what I've found, and it's just my personal view, that a number of times the leadership of the black church is still in the 20th century. They have not yet come to the 21st century. And, you know, some of them are slowly moving, you know, in that realm, which is a beautiful thing. You know, I'm a part of Hillside. Just this past November in 2021, Hillside did their first Hip Hop Sunday. Hillside is 50 years old. And they did their first Hip Hop Sunday. Well, that seems kind of strange, but I'm glad that they finally got there. I hadn't taught at Hillside in 18 years. I've been teaching around the world, but not at Hillside. And that's a new thought, black church. So again, you know, no judgment on no one, but if we want to keep it real, that's all about hip hop. It's like, there's no need to front, there's no need to try to put on airs, none of that. What you're really looking to do is, how do you connect to the God of your understanding for you to live the life that you desire to live more abundantly? Even if you don't articulate it that way, that's what everybody wants, bro. And when I was in ministry school, as I said, I knew that I was going for the people that I talk to right now, the unchurched. Those that ain't going to the mosque or synagogue, they ain't going nowhere, ever. But they still want to activate the God in them. Those are the people that I like to have real conversations.
And that's important, no doubt about it. You know, when you talk about changing the business model, I think it's more of a Sankofa kind of approach that would be necessary as opposed to some other kind of new wave or futuristic approach. And by Sankofa, I mean going back to doing what the black church originally did, go back to functioning how it originally functioned as a liberation organization, as an educational space, as a space for business development, as a space for nurture and care and love and sharing. That's the space.
As a space for moral leadership. We don't. You know, the sad part about it is, people do not look at the black church for even moral leadership anymore, bro.
Yeah, I think.
And when you look, just that happened in the last 50 years or so.
But then the question becomes, where do people look for moral leadership? And the answer to that query is, unfortunately and fortunately, it depends on how you look at it, nowhere.
Nowhere or everywhere.
Or everywhere.
Or everywhere.
Yeah,
all
nowhere
over the place.
or everywhere.
All over the place.
You know what I mean?
Like you hear people say, I'm not really into religion. I'm into spiritual. I'm more into spirituality than religion. I'm saying, cool, okay, well, what are you studying? And a lot of times they're like, well, what you mean? I'm like, if you say that you're into spirituality and you're really not into religion, but you're not studying any kind of spiritual material, what you're really doing is just kind of freestyling with the world.
Yeah.
You're not really into spirituality, because if you're into spirituality, you'll be studying some modem of spirituality.
Yeah, I think spirituality has what I really think the difference between spirituality and religion really is to practice religion requires discipline. To be a spiritual person, people think does not necessarily require discipline.
That's what they think, right? And you can
right,
freestyle,
and therefore
again.
it's freestyle or easier, or it's not arduous. It's not a chore, but it's just something.
And yet, to me, it would be the exact opposite, because at least with religion, even if you're still trying to figure out the religion, it gives you some type of foundation to build from. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I can say I'm spiritual and not religious because, hell, I just don't feel like getting up on Sunday and going nowhere. I would prefer to go eat brunch and look at the football game than discipline myself to come into the space to gather in order to exchange the spiritual energy necessary for not necessarily me to get replenished, but for somebody to my left, my right, in front of me, or my back of me to get replenished by the spiritual energy that I might bring into space. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then that could, but again, it's about discipline and also, I guess, changing preferences for people. Think about how much time people tend to spend engaged in artificial spaces, like and I ain't got nothing against people who play video games, but it's Negroes. Grown ass men that spend
video games,
that invest hours per day, into fantasy. And don't feel inclined to sacrifice that same kind of time, engaging people and being attempting to be helpful to people in the community or engaging. And I'm just saying, there are too many things to even begin to try to name that are coming against us being able to show our spirituality in ways that are healthy. And I think it's something that we need to pay attention to.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. That's why we started doing the monthly Food for the Spirit events that we call it.
Okay.
Which is a holistic hip hop experience, we call it. Mm-hmm. And what it really is the main objective is the same thing I do everything, is to enlighten, inspire, and empower people to live their divine purpose. Mm-hmm. We really believe that when you start to understand who you are spiritually, then, as Dr. Naim Akbar says again, the whole game changes. When you begin to look at yourself as a spiritual being, having human experiences, whatever name you want to call the higher power, that's for you to decide as well. But when you really decide that, it changes the whole experience that you have on earth. Because then it gives you something to connect to that's bigger than yourself, that you should, like we're talking about the discipline. Like, I tell dudes all the time, I graduated from ministry school almost 20 years ago, and I study more than when I was in school. Because as I've been out serving people, I don't run around playing minister server. It's not a play thing for me. It's my real life, period. When I'm by myself, when I'm doing whatever. But on that same end, you have to continue to grow and learn, to unfold, and particularly with the people that I'm working with, like I said, the unchurched. So I'm not trying to convince, coerce, or convert none of them at all. I'm not trying to save your soul, none of that. I'm trying to simply enlighten you, which is maybe give you a different perspective of information that you already have known, or maybe say something that you haven't heard, to inspire you, to let you know everything you need is already in you. You come fully equipped. And then to empower you, which means I'm going to give you some steps, some strategies, some suggestions of what you can actually do. Try it out for yourself is what I tell family members and friends. Don't take my word for shit. You know what I'm saying? Try it out. Go to God with a humble heart and spirit. Go to the essence with a humble heart and spirit. Be willing to actually discipline yourself. Give yourself 30 days, 60 days to really consciously discipline yourself. Say, I'm going to think different. Like, Scripture tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart.
So is
So
it.
is he? You know, a lot of fronting that people say, but in their heart they don't believe that they are who they say they are, and their actions show that. My thing is that when you connect to the Creator of the heavens and the earth, whoever you call that in itself can be so empowering to the level that you take it. Your faith is what makes you whole. I mean, you know, Jesus has some of the dopest teachings that when you activate in real life, you know, Jesus was the first manifestation of hip hop. To us, higher infinite power, healing our people. If that ain't Jesus, and he had his crew, the disciples. So I tell people when I was in ministry school, my only challenge was to some of the elders, I just didn't take it serious enough. I just had way too much fun. Because I used to be there like, oh, I can't wait to teach my niggas this. Like, oh, they gonna love this. Like, oh, they gonna love this. And the way that we chop it up, because, you know, the Bible got dope stories in it.
True.
So you could take it from the King James version if you want to, or you could take it from the hip hop version. You know, whatever it is, hopefully you're going back and studying those scriptures for yourself and gleaning something for yourself that you can take with you, no matter who you're hearing it from. But if I can say it to a brother or sister in a regular way that makes them want to go look up Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and righteous means right thinking, right speaking, right action. It's like, it's just a different way of looking at it. It's not anything new. I bring nothing new to the game, nothing at all, but I'm a dope student. That's what I tell people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the key to being a teacher. You got to be a real student, and take being a student seriously. No doubt about it. We're in the middle of a conversation with our dear brother, Minister Server, the minister of hip hop. When we come back, we're going to continue in conversation with him. And so I want you to stay tuned to the situation. Let your people's people know that we got a special edition of the show on today in honor of Black History Month, African American History Month, Indigenous Peoples Month, Freedmen's Month. You know what I'm saying? In honor of you. And we'll be back in a minute with more of the show. And we're open. Yo, big head.
We're open. Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace family, it's your girl Shelly Set with the Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop mattress shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Hi, I'm Broderick Gooch.
And I'm Tian Gooch.
And we're Gooch's Goodies.
Here at Gooch's Goodies, we specialize in delivering smiles and satisfaction to your home with our high quality foods at affordable prices.
Our signature sauces and dishes will guarantee a flavor that your family will love. And that's a Gooch's Goodies guarantee. You can follow us on Facebook,
DoorDash,
and Grubhub. See you soon.
mighty proud, talk of the town. Need a wife, call me twice. In the kitchen cooking plantain, jollof rice. Ebo gal in a gown, mighty proud, talk of the town. Need a wife, call me twice. In the kitchen cooking plantain, jollof rice. I don't need no gay man ass nigga, need a governor's son or a billionaire. I want a compound, 2 or 3 house for the cook and a couple house gals. Almost these stars on your head, might bust a brain. How far you day? You want chop? Go ahead. Dog, I'm chillin', they make time with a couple of bass. Ain't no what holler in my partners, I been give us a break. And my auntie is fire than your aunties. Get it from our mommies, bubble back up off me. I'm no great, don't come here to vex. I'm just talking my shit. You fuck with Yahoo boys, I'm with the owners, we lit. Oh yeah, we for hit cabanas with our cousins and we walking past the uglies and they stay to me. Mugging eyes on us and they hating, know they throwing all the loving. Wizzy blasting through the speakers, but burn up boy doesn't bum me up. I can be your African queen. Are you an African chief? Big guy wanna impress me. Please, can you do it like me? Ebo gal in a gown, mighty proud, talk of the town. Need a wife, call me twice. In the kitchen cooking plantain, jollof rice. Ebo gal in a gown, mighty proud, talk of the town. Need a wife, call me twice. In the kitchen cooking plantain, jollof rice. In the kitchen cooking plantain, in the kitchen cooking plantain, in the kitchen cooking plantain, jollof, in the kitchen cooking plantain, jollof rice.
I know no national boundary where the Negro is concerned. The world is my province until Africa is free.
First things first, gotta get that check. Secure the bag, now they mad. Go ahead, get your respect. Fools got a mouth but choose to talk about it, they neck. You might see me in the gym, but you can't see me flex. Might see me in the field, but just know I ain't here to play. Triple, no assist. Man, I do this all day. Been the shit these days, I'm just trying to maintain. Ever since my elevation, dawg, things ain't been the same. I can't listen to a pastor unless he practice what he preach. Can't be cool with anybody, everybody trying to leech. I was starving, trying to find a way to make it through the week. Ain't no silver spoons, man, there ain't no pity for the weak. I done had to crawl, but I balled nonetheless. These L's was lessons, man, I swear that we stay blessed. Let's not forget, diamonds get the most press. Solidified more or less, I stay with the tech. Ballin' hard with no assist. No assist. No assist. Ball so hard, I do it all with no assist. No assist. No assist. Ball so hard, I do it all with no assist. Trials and tribulations, this right here is dedication. I don't need evaluation. Young and Haitian came out the field with the revelation. Fruits of my labor, sugar free, a taste to savor. Blood, sweat, and tears gave all of my sauces flavor. We been major, eating for times where I had nothing at the table. This is my life, not a fable. Abstain from Cain, even though I was able. I'm just doing me, so please don't try and label. Same shit, different city, starting in a doohickey. Had to take some time off to see who was really with me. Been slaying since jit days, this is power and pain. Guys who came back with the still no Gregor Click Kane. You know my name, you see the main. Don't get maimed, I'm on a whole different plane. Hard to explain when you in the nosebleeds and I be deep off in the pain. Cat, no assist, no assist. Ball so hard I do it all with no assist. No assist, no assist. Ball so hard I do it all with no assist. No assist, no assist. Ball so hard I do it all with no assist. No assist, no assist. Ball so hard I do it all with no assist. Yeah, yeah.
Keith, get down. Stardust and clay. In my brain. To your ways. Fumble away. Fuck around me with them now shakers.
Yeah. Days, my pops heavenly born day.
Yeah.
Yeah, 87. It's funny, man. I tell people, man, as I get older, man, you know, you start to understand things from a different point of view as you get older. Like, me and my pops, we didn't really develop a relationship until I was in my 30s. So it's just like the last, what, like,
All right, man, we back. We black.
we black.
Happy African American History Month, Black History Month.
Blackity
Who was that? Who was that
black.
up under me, man? That Hope and Carl McClure? Who that? That's Ogechi. Man, Ogechi dope. She doper than I figured she was. She was up and through here, blew up the spot last week, and her music is dope, man. She's dope sister, dope personality. You know, she gonna be great.
Check her out.
I said, did I tell her that? I think I told her that. She gonna be great. She gonna blow up. Cause she just got it. She just is already
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, and she already feel it. You know, she already feel great, and that's
Right.
part of being great.
definitely part of
You know,
it.
you got to
Yeah.
believe that you great, and
Yeah.
so you engrave things like that's who you are. I wanted to hit a couple of more trending topics, if you would.
Sure.
And I think it's, you know, I get no joy out of having these kinds of conversations. When I say these kinds of conversations, I'm talking about having to discuss the murder by police of Amir Locke up in Minneapolis. You know, I preached about it yesterday, and because those, you know, I've not even been able to bear to look at the video. I know the video is out there, and I haven't investigated. I saw it, and I kind of like looked, and I saw what happened, and I kind of like just kept it moving because I just didn't feel like absorbing that trauma.
Exactly.
You know. However, it's something that we got to discuss. Here's a black man laying on the couch, and there's so many things that don't make no sense because I watched it when it first started. The police goes up to the door, man. The SWAT team pulls up at the door with a key, sticks the key in, unlocks the door, walks in the door, opens the door, and then says, "Police."
Right.
Dude laying on the couch, you know, wrapped up in a blanket. He had a thing, a piece right by his left hand,
Right.
by the, you know, on the little ottoman that was like seemed to be next to him. And I mean, in literally this long, he was dead.
Yeah.
Literally, like they got a key. That's the first thing I do not understand.
Right, that's
how the police get a key to the door?
And
Unless the
why wouldn't they say something, even if they had a key, why wouldn't they make their presence known from the door? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they had a quote no knock warrant. So no knock mean, I guess, no knock. You ain't got to announce that you're coming. But they had a key, so obviously they had gotten the key from the management of the apartments. That, you know, but I think about when I think about crimes.
Why was the SWAT team there? That's like, what
they were saying, what the story that they're saying is that they had a warrant for somebody, not the person who they shot.
Of course not.
They had a warrant for somebody for a homicide in another county or something like that. So yeah, I read it. You know, I read the stories from different sources, and it says that they came through the door. Now they ain't even said nothing about the person who they was looking for. Did they get that person? We ain't got no information on that. They just said they shot somebody. They came for a nigga and they got him one.
Exactly.
Bottom line. Exactly. It's like a clan lynching kind of search party kind of thing. You know, it's like we coming for a nigga today, and tag, you're it.
Right.
You know,
guilty or not, whether you even think it's a person. But see, you know, the thing that's crazy. What is it with the Minneapolis police? I mean, you know, they have more, at least publicly known, killings of it seems like every time we hear about a police killing publicly, because I know it's going on with Alabama.
Police, man, white police particularly.
Minneapolis, bro.
And people got to be you real about this. We got to be honest. In Minneapolis, bruh, there's a whole lot of brothers that's knocking off a whole lot of white honeys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they do that. They get down
interracially
at a very, very high level in Minneapolis. Anybody ever been there? Anybody live there? You know good and well I'm not lying about that. And what that does is it makes white men uneasy. It makes them angry, and I think that it probably intensifies their thoughts about the inevitability of their genetic annihilation. You know what I mean?
Dr. Francis
a la Dr. Wilson. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that in a deep psychological level, that's what's operating in that space. And they be itching to kill a Negro, you know, because they think that Negroes is eliminating them with sperm.
Right, exactly. Which is why, as you know, as
I just said something, then, boy.
As Dr. Cress Wilson talks about, the weapon that they talk about is the penis. It's not the actual gun.
Right.
It's the real penis, which again can genetically annihilate them, and that's what the deep-seated fear. Now,
Parliament called the bop gun.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sir Knows devoid of funk was scared to go hit with the bop gun. Cause what's his name? Not Glory Halla Stupid, but a Star Child. Mm-hmm. Star Child had the bop gun and was gonna shoot Sir Nose before the funk, so he could get the funk.
Exactly.
And then he started learning how to dance.
Exactly.
And that's what white folks scared of.
And
we gonna hit them with the bop gun, and they gonna learn how to dance.
When you look at that situation that's happening, I mean, even with young Tamir Rice, what did it say was 4 seconds from the time the cops came?
Bruh.
4 seconds. I mean, he was a 12-year-old boy.
I'm like this. Here is a child in the park playing with a toy.
Yeah.
And the white folks take this narrative, a child in the park.
Exactly.
Playing with a toy.
Exactly.
Right? They take that and turn it into a nigga in the park with a gun. You know, they transmogrify reality into something that is as innocent as anything could be to something that is horrendous and horrific and needing to be exterminated. And then they stand with that story even after they find out the truth. See, that's what the ugly. Okay, white man, all right, Timothy Low Man, I never forget his name, Low Man, because he's a low motherfucker, right? His name, Timothy Low Man. And I'm saying, all right, you a scary punk ass cracker with a gun. So I see you scared and you roll up and before you get there, you ready to kill. So you just get out and do what you already programmed to do.
Exactly.
All right, I get that. But after we understand, after we learn the truth of the narrative, you can't still hold on to the lie and let that be your rationale for the murder. You know what I mean? At one point, you have to take responsibility for what you did, even if it's a mistake. You know, people, okay, I made a mistake. All right, get it. But like everybody else, you got to pay when you make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I think that has to be addressed. You know, and I don't know what black folks are gonna do here. We might not do like what we've been doing for the longest and let white folks kill us, and
well, see, that's
we don't pray about it. Got to pray about it.
That's
Got to
the
pray
thing that's
about it.
happening now. Now you got a whole another generation that they don't think like that. They're not thinking about.
Yeah, but they ain't knocking off no crackers. This new generation, they ain't knocking off nobody. Every time somebody black get killed, ain't no Negroes. The militia ain't rising up and going knocking off nobody.
Nah, definitely not. And then letting the ones that have done it publicly flaunt it. Like what's the boy Zimmerman still running around talking stuff and whatnot.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's our fault,
that's
though.
That's our fault, 100%. Still our fault right now.
I often wonder why. I often wonder, and I shouldn't be saying this out loud and in public, but why not? It's just us.
It's just us. We just talk.
Well, wonder what it would be like if the bros actually function like we could and should function. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it couldn't be no Breonna Taylor.
Nah.
Without a whole lot of Susies and Sarahs and
that's
you know what I'm
mindset
saying?
About us, what we talked about earlier, about us being that missing link, which you just talked about. That's the missing link part, because just like they were talking about during the civil rights time, just the threat of Malcolm and the Nation of Islam made them act a certain way with Dr. King and the civil rights movement. That's that threat. They didn't really know what was going on. That's that threat. But because there's no even threat of that happening right now.
It's true.
It's no threat at all. I mean, even when they was trying to do the militia, the black militia down here and whatnot, it really wasn't taken serious like that. It was taken more of a joke, because nothing is happening again. But when you talk about these cops, I'm telling you, what's happening now in the United States of America has been foretold. Empires fall all the time, team, and that's the thing we got to get.
And
real
it's
with.
about that time.
We got to get real with it and make sure that we are protecting us and ourselves and let it flourish out from that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why, the things that you are doing in the community here is so important, man. We have to make sure that we are checking with each other, taking care of each other, serving each other in all the ways that we can. Because all we got is us, and that's just real, and we should know that now more than ever.
No doubt. If we ain't figured it out by now. All right, fine. Let's the last piece we're going to hit, then we got to roll up out of here, brother.
Sure.
Oh, man. So it's been a lot of talk lately about the lawsuit that was filed by Brian Flores. All right. And I was reading this morning, they hired another white man in Miami to replace him. They hired a white man instead of a brother, and they could have knocked Brian Flores off the square if they had just replaced him with another brother, and then they could have got away with saying, "This isn't about race."
Right. But see again, the whole arrogance of the NFL. The NFL, Roger Goodell and all them folks, they are symbolic of the
white supremacy
mindset that you can do
because Negroes participating in it and been
come on, man.
Negroes walking up on the slave auction block themselves. Regularly. Without being whipped. Their mom and dad is sending them to PWIs to season them, to prepare them for enslavement in that space, but it's compensated enslavement.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And I get to be better than the other Negroes that I grew up with, and I get to, quote, move out of the hood.
I'm just, what I'm paying attention of are the ones that's supporting Flores. You know what I'm saying? The black commentators and the black speakers that are supporting, because again, as you said, it's not a secret. It's been an open thing for now, but now, as he said, now he may be just like Cap, never be in the NFL again.
Yeah, and I appreciate his courage, his candor, and his courage for that, because he had to know, but he got to. But his lawyer probably told him, okay, you might not work in the NFL no more, but your kids ain't gonna have to work if you work this check right.
Yeah.
If you handle this bag right, that we gonna get, your children ain't gonna have to work.
But see, again, it's just like, the changes that need to be made systemically, those are the type of conversations that, as you said, when you got 70% of the people that make your organization, and you still don't have not one black owner, just what is it like? It's only one black head coach right now. Those are the type of things that we can effectively change within ourselves. We don't have to wait for no legislation. We don't have to wait for nobody to co-sign it, but it's always the gatekeepers. And that's what we talked about before, about the black gatekeepers, that they're never going to see the fuller black liberation because they're still thinking black capitalism.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
And capitalism is not the future of our
Definitely
people.
not the future. Ain't never been.
Yeah. But we be scared to say we ain't capitalists because you got to be a Christian, you got to believe in democracy, and you got to believe in capitalism in order to exist in this.
And yet, when we look back at some of our, this Black History Month, when we look at some of our best and our brightest, at least the conversations were a bit more diverse. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about somebody like Paul Robeson, who was an open communist. Now, some of the ideals that he had wouldn't necessarily fly now, but those conversations, we don't even have those conversations about, well, what was it about that system that he valued as opposed to the system that we're having now?
Right. And that's the thing. The variety of capitalism that is espoused in this country is necessarily wrapped up in the ideas of Christianity and democracy, and and neither of them, capitalism, Christianity, or democracy, being presented in its pure form, but all of them being tainted with white supremacy and coming together in an amalgam that's used to control, to stunt the growth and the development of one portion of the populace, and to uplift, buoy, and give power to another piece of people within the same process. For instance, with capitalism, X amount of people will automatically be excluded from the process. Yeah. And it would be cool. And it would be cool if capitalism allowed X to be X. But what white folks did is fill in X and say black people will be automatically excluded from the process unless you do something to make you valuable to them, unless you entertain them or enrich them in some way. Otherwise, they seek to eliminate you from the process. Know what?
Even if you entertain them and even if you make them money, as long as your politics don't interfere with the systems of racism and white supremacy, you'll be okay. So if you acquire a certain amount of power that threatens that system, it don't matter whether you don't have any money at all. Because again, Dr. King and Malcolm, they weren't economically rich at all.
Right.
But the threat to the system.
Right.
But now you got rappers that are billionaires, but they ain't no fucking threat to nobody.
Right.
So they're allowed to acquire as much stuff as you want, as long as you're not a threat to the system.
Yeah.
And those are the conversations that we have to have more privately and publicly. That I can name 5 billionaires just in hip hop. But how does that affect black people? How does that really affect us overall?
Right. It isn't.
And Frederick Douglass that said there could be no individual achievement without collective progress. Well, those are the conversations that we have to at least be willing to have the courage to have.
And to have them with each other those are
the only people we need to talk to.
As opposed to going on Vlad TV and telling some cracker your business. You got to be ashamed of yourselves. Anyway, and that's hip hop. Nigga, please. Anyway.
Culture Vulture Live.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's gonna do it for today, man.
Yes, sir. But
we did it though. We did it, man. So I'm gonna have to I probably gotta bring Jeffrey Frontleroy on, brother. And I'm gonna have to put him on the seat, man.
Is that with the black church conversation?
Yeah.
Have me up in here to have that conversation.
All right, we'll do that.
I tell people, I'm studied. I don't just call myself Minister Service, so we can chop it up for real. I'm not
going to come with
theoretical stuff.
Because Fauntleroy, man, came through, man, from, what you call it, them, I can't remember the name. What's the name of it? Traveler's Rest. They sent some canned goods and some coats over. For the people.
They're doing some good stuff up there, man. As I said, I got a partner.
I appreciate them letting us get their leftovers.
And again, let me just be clear. All of the churches, the black churches particularly, that are helping the people, I love what you're doing. My thing is that to whom much is given, much is required.
No doubt.
Not just the stuff.
Come on, Craig, start the music.
You know what I'm saying? We need to have real conversation about Jesus
the African Messiah.
We say, "Sweet Black Jesus, the Revolutionary."
Yeah, that's who I love. That's who I rock with.
And if we as black people are not talking about that, everything else that we're doing is just kind of game.
Ashe.
Word.
Hey man, thank you for coming through, bro. I see you next month. The Lord said the same thing. Yeah, because then we're gonna celebrate whatever else is happening in March. That's Women's History Month, and we're gonna big up the sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we'll meet and do that next week. Much love, man. Bless. All right, y'all, we out of here, man. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of The Situation, Black History Month edition with Minister Server, the Minister of Hip Hop. Stop playing around. If you want people who are exciting, who are innovating, who are intelligent, you need to tune in to this show and holler at my peeps, because that's how we get down. All right, then, switch over to me. You're supposed to look at me now, Craig, while I'm talking. Because you're looking at him and talking.
Take back what you stole from me.
Hey, why don't you just talk? Let me produce. You handle the microphone. You don't even know when the microphone on or not. Okay, that's good. I'm out of here, man. Peace to the people, power to the people, root to the blood.
And if you gotta run, try to shoot. Sucker.
If it makes sense, we have to go and do it, you know. Yeah, what I man say. Right now. But each and every day I say, oh people now. Here I say, freedom. Rasta people them freedom. If it makes sense, we have to go and do it, you know. Yeah, what I man say. Right now. But each and every day I say, oh people now. Here I say, freedom. shackles, break them chains. Don't let them control your brain. Break them shackles, break them chains. Even though them change your name. Wake up, wake up, wake up, free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, free your mind. If they control your mind, they can control your thoughts. If they control your thoughts, they can control your actions. Prompting you to take their baits that will lead you to self-destruction. With your self-defeating, self-destructive actions, doing exactly what they want. As you fall in their trap, say, up your manipulation, them unleash, them demons and them beast, to rape, ravage and feast. So wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up and free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up and free your mind. They create a school in shits in preparing your mind for manipulation with their lies and their propaganda. Desensitizing your minds for more lies and falsification. With the medias and their institutions, we make up rules and more distractions. Confusing and mixing up your mind. Do you know what are their plans? I say it's mind control. Them evil Babylonians, they wanna steal your soul. So wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up and free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up and free